How are you doing? Welcome to a new class. This time we're going to continue with the Backup Restore Labs. In this case, what I'm going to do is directly recreate this instance. I'm going to see it. There should be some option like for I don't want to destroy it. I would like to recreate. Here it is. If I recreate this as is, if, let's say Tala is this, that I had 2 recordings. Here, I still have the instance created with 2 recordings. What I'm going to do is, from this point, rebuild everything. Four, redeploy Omniliads from scratch, and then do a restore Doosan to go back to the state where we last left the instance before when we took the backup. Okay, now this obviously is going to error out. I'm going to close these 2 windows so I don't get confused. I'm going to stick with just the instance. This logging that we're rebuilding from scratch with the Virgin operating system. Here I'm going to comment Espinillo and Algarobo because I'm going to work with Tala. And here in Tala, well, this recreation, I think I should respect the IPs. I'm going to check it out anyway. It's this one. 2,25,126, 1,126, and 642.6. 142 is this okay? That's fine. Only thing here, as I already have, is in my deploy manager, let's say, my workstation. Already, I accept it. The ID, there it is. Well, this is going to give me an error. Now I'm going to pull from my now host 2,942, the line 2,942, which is where I have the reference to this IP, 2,25,126. Then there I try a new SSH connection. There it seems to be okay already. Then in this restore process, we could already, I think, deploy again. Yes, there we are. So, well, we're going to deploy and install back. We have the Virgin operating system because we just recreated the cloud instance, the cloud server instance, with Ubuntu that we're using for our use and tenant called What Happened Here? Let's see. I don't think I saved any changes. I'm going to give you Control-C because I don't think I saved any changes here. Is it? I didn't save changes, so I was running on all 3. There, I'm going to give it Control-S to save. I'm going to shoot again. And well, there we are with the redeployment. Now, yes, of the instance, Tala. Okay. Well, this is going to generate an omnilit of 0 Virgin. It's going to take the usual approximate time between 8, 5, and 10 min. The deployment of all the components. In the meantime, well, of course, here we don't have anything. Is totally down the application because it doesn't exist anymore as such in that IP address. But well, we are going to take care of restoring it. Well, with the installation process is about to finish. We are going to remembering that we had here inside of the bucket. Although we recreated the instance the bucket has not been touched. In fact, here is all your data. We're going to go to the backup part, and we're going to bring us this number, this timestamp here. Finish the installation. I'm going to bring that timestamp, and I'm going to use it here. Notice in Talla. I'm going to, oops, what happened? Copy. I'm going to take out the SQL. I'm going to take out the script. I'm going to leave it like this. And I'm going to look for a parameter called restore file timestamp. Notice that it talks about backup and restore in a section of the file. And then this parameter, I'm going to declare inside the variables that apply on the host or the Omniliads instance called Talla. That was the one we rebuilt. That was the one that has the IP address that ends in 126. That is the one that at some point we were logged in as agent, and well, now we're going to give F, and it's going to take us to the login process because, well, this agent does not exist because it's totally empty, the instance. In fact, we are going to log in. Also, usend. We're going to go this also, looking at some commands that, for example, this. Here I'm going to do a select. We'll see. Down. Let's say we're in a totally virgin instance. For example, in the call report part, see, there is nothing. There is nothing. We said, then here we have the timestamp. This one, which is the one that represents the backup that we took before we destroyed the instance. And from now, then I'm going to do this, but here I'm going to put restore. We're going to deploy restore over this group of instances. Now, if I go to Desquad, which is this inventory, I just added the parameter with the timestamp to go get the backup to carry forward the restore. And when I go here to the listing of host on which I'm going to impact the restore command only to logging, the other two are commented out. So now I'm going to do this. And now, well, it's going to connect back from my deployer manager, from my deploy manager here on my workstation. It's going to be a connection and well, just to the host logging. And it's going to reconstitute the instance with the backup taken before destroying, recreating the instance. So we should soon have the instance in its state, just prior to the recreation of the instance. It is probably subtracting. So let's have this 502 for a while. Django logs as always to see the initialization process of the web application. Apparently, we are. So you should be able to use again. I don't remember. I was using DOS or UN. In any case, we changed. But oh well. Recordings list. If it is not this one, it is the other one. It is there, isn't it? At 2 precisely. And here are the recordings. Here are the 2 recordings that we had before of destroying the instance and recreating it. And well, at the level of course, metrics, reports, and everything else. we restored the instance. This could be, for example, a disaster recovery. Let's imagine that with very bad fortune or using maybe some servers of not very good quality providers, for some reason, gets destroyed, corrupts the file system, whatever. Some misfortune that wouldn't be such if we have a dynamic backup management for really well this restore procedure. While we did it here on the same machine, on the same provider, I could easily have it or pull up on another provider or even on premise and connect to the bucket and work with that bucket. Although I recreated this instance here, could have easily created it in my on-premise environment. And from there, connect to the bucket with the user and the key and restore. So this allows me to have redundancy, including being able to move from cloud to cloud or from cloud to on-premise, or if I go down on-premise, jump to the cloud. That would also be a fairly typical scenario. Suppose the bucket, I have it in the cloud, but the instance running, I have it on premise. That would be a bit of hybrid cloud. So, in the face of a crash, one problem of my on-premise instance, I deploy quickly. It takes 5 minute deploy from a fresh install in the cloud, and I plug it in and take and restore the backup from the bucket that I have in the cloud. So that way, I'm prepared for redundancy, for disaster recovery, to migrate from one cloud to another, or migrate from on-premise to cloud. Let's say, go toggling, taking the Omnilight instance wherever I want, as long as does the process of restoration process that involves I'm going to insist this from having the object storage outside of the Omnilit instance. So that's what the restore is all about. That's what the restore is all about, that I can do without this, get it back up wherever I want, as long as I have this external bucket that we insist so much. Watching and treasuring the unstructured data and structured related from the backups to restore my Omniliad's instance.